Welcome to the virtual board meeting of the Board of School Directors of the School District of Springfield Township for May 19th, 2020. Mr. King, could you please, actually, no, we'll read the mission statement first. Sorry. Mission of the School District of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high achieving, resilient, and responsible in a changing global community. Mr. King.
Mr. Bedard.
Here.
Mr. DeFranco.
Here.
Dr. Atlin.
Here.
Ms. Jordan.
Here.
Mr. Lapidus.
Here.
Mr. Needleman.
Here.
Ms. Sarsfield.
Here.
Ms. Lipinski.
Here.
Dr. Tara Husky.
Here. Okay. Are there any public comments on agenda items? I don't see anyone here for that. We'll move to approval of the minutes, April 21st, 2020, regular Zoom meeting, board minutes P. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
Okay. Approval of the treasurer's report, I. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who was the second? I need the floor.
Me. Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Gretchen, thank you.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All right, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All opposed? And the motion carries.
Okay. There are no reports and no reports of information at this time. Administrative report, Dr. Hacker.
Thank you, Dr. Tara Husky. And actually, it's my pleasure to introduce Karen Devine, who is representing the Pennsylvania School Boards Association. Karen, unfortunately, has been trying to attend one of our board meetings for quite some time now, and we kept getting postponed. So, Karen, we're very happy and excited that you finally were able to get here. So I'm going to turn things over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be at this meeting on your agenda, and I look forward to coming out physically sometime in the future. I'm Director of Member Services, and I've been with PSBA 23 years. I've traveled the entire state, but starting in last September, I began covering southeastern PA. So, and I'm excited about that. Over the years, I've been there frequently for legislative meetings at the IUs. So it's very good to see all of you, to be covering your area. And it's always been my practice to get out to every school district in my territory at least once a year. So I can see how everything's going, see if you need anything from PSBA. Thank you for your membership, and also give you an update on some of the things we're working on at PSBA so you know what's available to you as members. So that's what I'd like to do right now. I'm just going to cover some of the resources we've been providing to the members. You're at the center of everything we do at PSBA, and especially since this pandemic, we really kicked into high gear, making sure we had resources and tools available for you. So on our website, you will find a coronavirus resource page, and there you will find information on preparedness, including guidance on communications planning, even going into the fall. We partnered with the Donovan Group for free crisis communications, so they can help with that. We have policy. We just had a new PNN come out that was related to COVID the end of April. And we have information on emergency management and disease control. We also have on that part of the site FAQs, and all of the education associations came together to work on these FAQs that we continue to update, and most of them are related to Act 13. The bill or the act that has helped you through this emergency situation. So that's on that part of the website as well. So I would direct you there if you have any questions at all about what's available to you. And then also we have a spring webinar series, and we've been focusing on school boards working virtually. And one thing we just did today in the spring webinar series was on conducting digital superintendent evaluations. So we were able to put together a digital tool that school boards can use moving forward, or at least through COVID. So you're still able to perform your responsibilities there. And this is also complimentary from PSBA for 1 year. And on June 2nd, we're having Equity in Blended Distance and Digital Learning webinar. So as you've all been working to make sure all of your students have been able to go digital, I know that some of the districts have run into issues, and some of the inequities have actually, risen to the top. So this webinar is something we think the members will find very useful. And then on June 9th, we're having the webinar, Leading Through Crisis, What Have We Learned? So we hope you can join us for those free spring webinar series. And then also, we just had one tape that is under My PSBA, where you will find all of our webinars. If you can't actually participate on the day, it eventually goes into My PSBA. So we have one there now, 2020 School Safety and Security Board Report webinar. So that is there for your school safety officers as they prepare their reports that they present to the board. I believe it's on an annual basis. And also we have our digital May-June bulletin that is focusing on COVID as well. It's focusing on budgeting and utilizing your education foundations and crisis communications. We have a keynote webinar series taking place every Thursday at noon. It's our keynote speakers that are now speaking for free to our members over the lunch hour. And everything is on our website, but I can also follow up with an email that includes some links to these. And in addition, we just released the 2020 State of Education report. We've been doing that annually now for about 5 years. We have Monday morning video editions with government affairs. They will be every Monday now that you are in the budgeting process, so they can give you the pulse on the hill when it comes to state funding. We just had an alert go out today. We're encouraging boards to consider adopting a resolution that will at least call for level state funding at the very least, and that you will be relieved of some of the mandates that you've been under. You may recall back in 2008 when we went through our recession, we received some mandate relief legislation turned into an act. It was lifted in 2010. We're asking for that to come back to help school districts. So all of that is in your alert today. please continue to advocate and consider passing the resolution. And then we also have started a task force. All of the education associations came together and they started the Back to School 2020 task force. That task force is comprised of many working committees, and they focus on things such as transportation and facility, logistics, staffing, personnel, instruction, special education, extracurriculars, health and safety, communications, and the community and resources. And the work groups will all come together with they're going to look at the problems that you're facing. They're going to come up with solutions. They're going to put all that together in a report, and that report will be completed by June 16th, and it will go out to all the school districts. So you will have some help before you go back to school, hopefully in the fall. That's what our secretary says. So that is our hope. And with regard to what's ahead, we are currently recruiting for PSBA elected positions. So if you or anyone you know would be interested in serving on our governing board, that's until June 1st. We're receiving those applications. Please join us every Tuesday at 1:30 for the weekly buzz. Amy always joins us for that as well. Amy Goldman, she helps us with that. And that's where all board leadership and liaisons come together to talk about the issues at hand. And that began almost immediately after we went into quarantine with COVID. And then every Thursday is the keynote speaker. And then finally, on October 14th through the 16th, we are now having a virtual PSBA PASA annual conference rather than a physical conference in Hershey. There are many things I did not talk about that we are always working on. I know you've been active with PSBA, with policy and other things. And just know that I'm your field rep. So if you ever need anything at all, I'm your person. My cell phone is listed on my signature line of my email. Feel free to call me or text me. And I just want to thank you for your membership and for all you do, especially during these difficult times. And with that, I could take any questions if there's time.
Thanks, Karen. We appreciate you coming today and sharing all of that with us. I actually cannot attend those Tuesday meetings. I have wanted to, but I have a standing meeting at that time. So I'm opening that up to any of my colleagues, anybody who is able to or wants to hop on just to kind of see what's going on at the state level. It would be really helpful, I think, for us to know. I did join one of the calls, one of the webinars, I guess, about a couple of weeks ago, just to kind of connect with others and see what people were doing. So certainly, if anybody's interested, let me know.
And it's good to see you in person, Karen. I got to talk to you on the phone. I think it was about a week or two ago. So it's good to see you. And I can include the link for the weekly buzz in my email to you. I will try to get that out tomorrow. And then if anyone would like to join us, please feel free.
Thanks.
Thank you
I just
so
wanted
much.
to follow up on one thing that Karen just shared, which was about that opening of schools task force. I happen to serve on that task force, and as she mentioned, we are working in partnership with not only PSBA, but also PSEA, the Statewide Teachers Association. We're working with PSBA, which is the School Business Officials Association. We're working with the Pennsylvania Association of School Administrators and the Statewide Principals Associations. So as we are fond of saying, we're working with all the Ps in order to get this taken care of. And I happen to be on the Staffing and Personnel Subcommittee. What we are finding is that June 16th date that you mentioned, Karen, is quite ambitious, because as we begin to delve into all of the issues associated with trying to open up schools in the midst of even a declining pandemic, what we're finding is that sometimes, unfortunately, there are more questions than there are solutions at this point. But we're continuing to hammer away at it. In fact, I have 2 such meetings this week with the statewide membership. So hopefully we'll be able to arrive at some models and some plans so that districts throughout the Commonwealth are going to be able to serve our children once again in person. So Karen, again, my thanks as well for being here. You're a terrific resource for our board, and I hope you've gotten a sense of how wonderfully supportive our board is. I personally consider myself extraordinarily lucky to have this group of people that you see here this evening.
Absolutely. That is evident. And I thank you so much for serving on that task force as well. Thank you again. So I will hop off now, but it was great meeting all of you. I thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Karen.
Karen.
Come again soon.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
So now that we're done with that portion of the administrative report, I just have a couple of other things that I wanted to announce. Some of you may remember from past years at our May board meeting, we normally bring in all of our students in our specialized music programs, and we recognize them as well as our music staff for their contributions to making music happen across the grade levels in our district. And we also generally bring in Tom Kelly from the National Association of Music Merchants. And Tom always, at least for the past 6 years, has graced us with an award from NAM, naming us as one of the best communities for music education across the country. I'm very happy to announce that for the 7th year in a row, we've again won that award. Tom could not be here this evening, and obviously we couldn't invite all of the students, the many students we have involved in our music programs, but it's because of the phenomenal students that we have, their wonderfully dedicated parents who help them with practices and taking them to rehearsals, that we have such a vital music program in our district. And of course, because of our music educators. This year we were one of 754 districts nationwide that received this award. So we're very, very proud, and I just want to thank all of the wonderful and dedicated music educators that we have in our school district for working as hard as they do with our students, especially now during tough times. We need to keep them singing and loving music, because it's a great respite from everything else that's going on. As I mentioned to all of you board members in my email to you, we are getting ready for the opening of Enfield, the new Enfield Elementary on July 15th. That's our target date. So we're really excited about that and getting ready for that and getting our teachers excited and ready. Our staff members are really happy about the fact that they can begin to finish up their packing and get over there and get their things over there. So we're really looking forward to this. And if you've driven by, you'll see the building looks absolutely phenomenal. So we're very, very happy about the opening of the new Enfield School. And then finally, I also just want to mention that on Thursday evening, we have another meeting of our Education Foundation. The foundation has been very, very active this year. We do have plans for expenditure of some of the funds from the Ed Foundation that we've raised over the course of the past year. We're going to be purchasing virtual reality technology for our science department in our high school. So I want to thank Mr. Oliver, because he was really instrumental in helping us with finalizing the selection of those materials. But the Z-Space technology is really phenomenal. It enables students to wear glasses similar to these, where they literally can be transported into the human body, into vertebrae of all species, into physics molecules, into chemical molecules. So we are ordering the Z-Space for those particular areas, including chemistry, physics, I believe biology, and some of the other sciences. So that's going to be the first area where this new exciting virtual reality tech is going to be able to be utilized. We're very, very excited about expanding our technology in this area at the high school. So my thanks to anyone who has ever supported or given to our education foundation. So those are my announcements for the evening, so thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. All extremely exciting things. And this is always such a great board meeting when the kids come. Really missing it because those meetings are the best opportunity to see what we do as a board and to kind of see the benefit of that. So it's disappointing, but I'm glad to hear that we are continuing to have our district recognized. That's great. Thanks.
If it helps, Dr. Tara Husky, that helps at all. I did hear my 2 oboe players upstairs practicing for their virtual concert.
Excellent.
The overview of that. So congrats. That's just really tremendous.
That's great. I think there's probably been a lot of virtual music going on across the district. So that's great. Okay. All right. Well, let's move to new business. Let's start with the first item, personnel. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment: certificated personnel, support personnel, and temporary personnel. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
And you're muted.
Ken, you're muted. You're up. You're muted. Thank you.
Really, we can't say aye.
The
unless
motion
we hear
has
the
been
question.
read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries.
Okay. Number 2, confidential settlement and release agreements. The Board of School Directors approves the confidential settlement and release agreement for student 202-005-19-01 and student 202-005-19-02. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Second.
Any comments? Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries.
Okay, number 3, athletic field trips, tournaments and playoffs. The Board of School Directors approves various 2020-2021 athletic overnight field trips, tournaments, and playoffs as per the attachment AA. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I just have a quick comment. As you can well imagine, these are all pending the status of where we will be in terms of COVID-19 for next year as to whether or not these trips will take place.
Okay, thanks.
Dr. Hacker, is there a existing procedure or approach that we would take if these overnight trips were canceled? Do the monies automatically just roll back into the athletics budget, or would they be put into another budget? How exactly do we plan for that?
Well, the monies would go back into the athletic budget if the expenses are coming out of those particular line items in the area of athletics. The assumption is we would know soon enough that any cancellations would be refundable. So that's exactly what would happen. The money would simply go back in. At this point, you'll see on most of the items, it does say estimated costs that are included. So the actual plans for the trip are made much closer to the time when the trip is going to take place. So we do have a little bit of leeway in case we have to cancel a month or so, or even a couple of weeks in advance.
If I may add to that, and for some reason I don't have those
Dr.
in front
Hacker,
of
is
me,
this?
but most of the time
Okay.
these types of events occur in relatively quick. All of a sudden we'll make playoffs, and then the playoff actually occurs before the board has a chance to act. And same with tournaments. Tournaments may come up and things of that nature. So some of these, and again, I apologize, but I don't have the list, but typically some of these are in the event we reach playoffs. There is already board approval of the event and a dollar amount tied to it so that we can react quickly and get the kids to the tournament and or to playoffs. So the funds may not have been spent ahead of time or until we know
Mike,
or deposits made.
is this the first time that we are, oh, sorry. Is this the first time that we're looking at the trips as a whole? I kind of remember these sort of coming in one by one as the trips are occurring. And I'm frozen.
No, generally we
No,
approve these
typically
either at
we
the
do
end
this
of the
ahead of
previous
time.
school year or
A
the
lot of
beginning.
times
So
in
a lot of times
summer, August.
we do this,
Yeah, August.
we typically do it at the start of the school year. We'll approve a whole litany of trips ahead of time.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Okay, any other comments or questions? Mr. King?
Okay, I'm sorry. Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion carries.
Okay. Number 4, MCIU Regional 1 Services Contract. The Board of School Directors approves the Internet Services Contract between Springfield Township School District and the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit number 23 for the period July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 in the amount of $7,476.63. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
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 Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
Number 5, Memorandum of Agreement, STEPSA High Deductible Plan. The Board of School Directors approves the Memorandum of Agreement between the Springfield Township Educational Support Personnel Association, STEPSA, and the School District of Springfield Township to implement a new high deductible insurance plan for classifications C and D in the bargaining unit. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
And any comments or questions?
So Dr. Tara
Okay,
Husky,
Mr.
if you
King?
don't mind, I'd like to
Yep.
ask Emily Care to just give a brief explanation. The high deductible plan is a plan that we were able to negotiate recently with our professional staff association. And now that same plan is being offered for the support staff association. The employees in the classifications mentioned in the motion include our instructional aides, our non-instructional aides, such as our bus monitors and our recess aides. It includes our food service our bus drivers, our food service workers, some of our nurses. So I'd like Emily just to give a very quick explanation of what this high deductible plan means so everyone has a clear understanding of why we're now offering it. It is a cost savings plan for the district. So Em, would you mind just giving a brief description of the plan for us?
Sure. So the high deductible plan we're putting in place that we negotiated with the teachers has a $2,000 and a $4,000 deductible, depending, $2,000 for single, $4,000 for family. Previously in the support staff contract, only the core plan, which is our Keystone point of service plan, was offered to Class C and to Class D. So they wouldn't have had the opportunity to enroll in our high deductible cost plan. This plan is a lower cost plan. It should be, and hopefully would be, more affordable to Class C and Class D, and they are actually our lower paid individuals in the district. So we didn't want to make it so that they couldn't participate in a lower cost plan that would hopefully be able to actually provide more insurance coverage to more of our employees in the district. So this MOU was put into place to allow them to participate in the high deductible plan and hopefully have benefits offered to them at a lower cost.
Thank you, Em.
Thank you, Emily. Does anyone have any comments or questions for Emily? Okay, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Number 6, KidView Inc., days off. The Board of School Directors approves the KidView Inc. days off proposal for the 2020-2021 school year as per the attachment BB. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
Okay, the motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion carries.
Okay, number 7, 2020-2021 board meeting dates. The Board of School Directors approves board meeting dates for the 2020-2021 school year, attachment CC. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
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 Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
Thank you. The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Excuse me. All opposed? And the motion carries.
Number 8, Plan Con Part K. The Board of School Directors approves the Plan Con Part K project financing for the district's general obligation bond series of 2020. Is there a motion
Motion.
and a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Thank you. The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
Number 9, virtual commencement ceremony agreement. The Board of School Directors approves the agreement between the Springfield Township.
Excuse me, Dr. Tara
Oh,
Husky.
hang on.
Excuse me. We've pulled that motion from the agenda.
Okay,
The updated board docs have that eliminated. So number 9 is now tree-related proposal.
okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I was all
Okay.
prepared and printed yesterday, so. Okay, so number 9, tree-related proposal, Enfield Athletic Fields. The Board of School Directors approves the proposal with the Morris Arboretum to inventory and assess all trees at the old Enfield Elementary School location to identify trees for preservation and to calculate tree replacement requirements per the Township's tree replacement ordinance at a cost not to exceed $1,600 to be paid from the district bond fund. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? I think this is a great idea that we're including the Arboretum in this. I think that is a wise, choice for us to make for our township. Thank you, Nancy. Any other comments or questions? Hey, Mr. King?
Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
Number 10, annual renewal of sports and student accident insurance. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the purchase of the following insurance policies from Axis Insurance Company through All Risks Ltd. for the 2020-2021 school year. Number 1, accident medical coverage at an annual cost of $6,355. Number 2, catastrophic accident coverage at an annual cost of $500. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Number 11, revision of policy 006.1, board member participation in meeting via remote communication device, first reading. The Board of School Directors approves the first reading of revisions to policy 006.1, board member participation in board meeting via remote communication device, attachment DD. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries.
Number 12, camera system install, New Enfield. The Board of School Directors approves the proposal with CM3 Building Solutions, Inc. to provide provide and install an IP camera system in the new Enfield Elementary School at the cost of $100,958 to be paid from the district bond fund. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? I have a question. Is this a system for the entryway, like security cameras? Is that what this is?
This is all over the building. This is,
Okay.
I believe, 60 cameras throughout the building. Entrances, in the school, outside of the school, all over.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Mr. King?
Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
Number 13, PowerSchool software renewal. Board of School Directors approves the software renewal for the period June 13th, 2020 through June 12th, 2021 for PowerSchool special programs not to exceed $30,002.40. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
So I just want to take the opportunity to explain 13, 14, and 15, since they're all separate motions with separate dollar amounts. They each have different functions. So in 13, this is the uploading of and the repository for all of our IEPs, our individualized education program plans for all of our special needs students, as well as 504s for any students that have them. So that's what the first motion is about. 14, applicant tracking, is for all of the uploading of applications for anyone who applies for any particular employee position within the district. So this is our recruit and hire applications warehoused in PowerSchool for us, and allows us to view applications for any available position. And then finally, as you see in number 15, this is really the meat of what PowerSchool does for us. It's our student information system, our entire financial system. So all of the financial records that we have in the databases are loaded into this. All of the related modules for PIMS and for anything where we have record keeping for our students. So I just want to make sure the board members understood the difference between each of these software renewals in numbers 13, 14, and 15. And they're all separate because they each come with a different cost.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank
Are
you.
there any other questions on on item 13 at this point? Okay, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
Number 14, PowerSchool software renewal. The Board of School Directors approves the software renewal for the period August 31, 2020 through August 30th, 2021 for PowerSchool UT applicant tracking not to exceed $3,102.33. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
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 Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries.
Okay. Number 15, PowerSchool software renewal. The Board of School Directors approves the software renewal for the period July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 for PowerSchool eSchool SIS e-finance, Cognos, and related modules not to exceed $97,181.74. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
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 Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
Number 17, PowerSchool services. The Board of School Directors approves the PowerSchool Keys to Ownership service for the end of the year rollover and grade level changes in eSchool related to the opening the new Enfield School building for the period of April 15th, 2020 through April 14th, 2021, not to exceed $2,100. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Are there any public comments on non-agenda items?
Dr. Tara Husky, we have a few more motions on the agenda for
grab-
this evening. Just two
Okie
more.
dokie. Let me move to.
Would you like for me to read them?
I can
Hold
take
on
the-
1 second. I think I can get my agenda. You want to do that, Jeff?
Yeah, I can take these. We have
Okay, great.
number 17, Ready to Learn grants, recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves a Ready to Learn grant allocation of $20,015.66 to Wilson Language Training Corporation for the addition of foundations, teacher kits, and materials for grades 1, 2, and 3. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions on this item?
Thank you, Mr. Bedard. So let me just clarify, it is foundations, it's not a spelling error, and this is not a new program. And the motion is really not about the Ready to Learn grant, but it is about the purchase of these foundations, teacher kits, and materials. We do already use foundations in kindergarten and with some additional students in first grade. However, because it is an exemplary phonics and phonemic awareness program and set of materials that has great success, particularly with children who have difficulty in decoding. We felt because we get this state Ready to Learn grant that this would be an excellent use of some of those funds in order to be able to implement foundations in these other grades as well, to help children with decoding skills before they go into really the heavy duty or comprehension of text and text analysis when they get into 4th grade. So that's why we're including it up through grade 3. And we were fortunate to have these grant funds to be able to use for this purchase.
Thank you, Nancy.
All right, Mr. King?
The motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion carries.
All right, Karen, back to you.
Okay. Number 18, Runva Inc. estimate. The Board of School Directors approves the subscription agreement with Runva Inc. to provide software allowing SDST administrators to account for and communicate with students and district staff during times of emergency in the amount of $9,625 per fiscal year during the term effective July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
So again, I'll just to let everyone know, this is software that we actually purchased through a state safety and security grant last year. At the time, I had given the board information about this, but I'll just review it once again. This is information that can be pulled up really easily on a laptop or a cell phone or an iPad during times of emergency. Teachers can check their class lists. If in the event of an evacuation from the school, they can pull up not only class lists, but also medical information for any of the students. So it's really very, very important, timely software in the event of a critical emergency or a crisis where we had questions about where a student might be located.
Nancy, have we had the opportunity to, or the occasion to use this system yet?
Yes, we've trained all of our staff. We bought it last year. We trained the staff in the use of it, and we've used it in drills. Fortunately, we haven't had any real-time situations where we've had to use it for an emergency, but they've all practiced with it through drills.
Okay, thank you. That's great.
Mhm.
Okay. Any comments or questions for Dr. Hacker? Okay, Mr. King?
Motion has been read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now we can move on to public comments on non-agenda items, but I don't think that we have any other participants in the meeting. Is that correct?
None at this time.
Okay, thank you. Future meeting dates, Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020 at 7 p.m., which is a virtual meeting, and a regular board meeting on Tuesday, June 16th, 2020 at 7 p.m., which is also a virtual meeting. Any other questions, comments, anything for the good? Okay, great. All right, well, thank you all for joining us virtually.
Thank you, everyone.
And see you soon.